I want you guys to take note of the slides that I'm going to be showing you, okay? Because this can be included to your oral questioning as well. Okay, let's go ahead and discuss this. Bear with me here. All right, who can read the description for me, please? Who can read the description for me? Karina, let's go ahead and ask Karina to read that for us. Karina, yes, I guess you're on mute. That's why.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and read
Okay,
that for us.
telemarketing is a method of oh my, okay. Telemarketing is a method of direct marketing in which a salesperson uses the telephone to solicit prospective customers to buy products or services, either over the phone or through a subsequent face-to-face or web conferencing appointment scheduled during the call.
Thank you. Okay, and also it states here that telemarketing can also include recorded sales pitches programmed to be played over the phone via automatic dialing. Okay, my question is, do you know boom sourcing, guys, which is just downstairs of our office? Do you know that? Boom sourcing.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes. Um, these companies are also catering to sales and telemarketing, but most specifically, they are doing recorded sales pitches program to be played over the phone. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to be talking to a customer on the other line, but all you just need to do is to listen well, do active listening, and then the response will be coming from the computer. All right, so that's how you do it. So all you just need to do is to listen to the customer, understand what they're asking, and then the response will be coming from the recorded sales pitches over the phone. Okay, so that's how it goes. So, and also we have face-to-face web conferencing appointments scheduled during the call. There are some sales and telemarketing, companies in which it requires to have beautiful agents or handsome agents because it will be needing what do you call this, a face-to-face subsequent interaction with our customers using the camera. Okay, and it also states here that telemarketing is a method of direct marketing. Wait a minute, guys. All right. Telemarketing is a method of direct marketing in which a salesperson uses the telephone. Okay. This is the easiest way for you to sell something because if you're going to be selling something, you will be able to know outright if the customer is interested or not. Okay. Let's move on to the next page. These are the categories of telemarketing. We have business to business, business to consumer. I guess this is very self explanatory. Okay. I'll just set an example for this. Business to business, for example, we have Sutherland, okay, and we also have PLDT. These are both companies in which they are going to be dealing business over the phone, but both of them are business establishments. All right. Now the second bullet says here that business to consumer. This is like PLDT and your household, okay, because they're just like doing what do you call this, interaction with that one as well. So which means that sales is actually a very broad it's a very broad industry when it comes to selling something or offering something to your customers. Okay. Now there are also what we call the subcategories: lead generation, sales, outbound, and inbound. Okay. In sales, guys, there is what we call the outbound or inbound calls. All right. I know you already have watched some advertisements over the phone. Over the television. I don't know if you already have before, but I can show you one. Wait up. Okay. Bear with me a second. Just trying to check something. I can't find one. But anyway, wait up. There you go. Okay, I'll show you one here so that you'll be able to know. Bear with me a second. Mhm. Let me know, guys, if you can see my screen. Okay. Uh-huh. Can you now see my screen, guys?
No, sir.
What about
No,
that?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, I'll give you one example of a sales that has something to do with inbound. Okay, this is it. These are
Encounters alive. Judge for yourself by calling the 900 number on your television screen. Hear what could be the incredible Elvis phone call. Listen to the newest and longest recording ever, just released from the original taped conversation purportedly of Elvis recorded about 4 years after the 16th of August, 1977. Call 1-900-909.
there you go. This is just an example, guys. Okay, because in the U.S., they are like doing a lot of advertisements that has something to do with 1-800 numbers. Okay, so these are hotline numbers that has something to do with sales as well. If you were able to get these numbers, and then, for example, you were hired in a call center, and then these customers are going to be buying something about, I mean, or they were convinced about the advertisement, they're just going to be calling you, and this is what you call inbound sales that you guys are going to be doing. There's like an inbound and also outbound sales. Okay, so most basically, that's actually this is the easiest way for you to sell something because you're not going to be discussing a lot of things about it because customers are already interested before they call you, right? So you don't need to convince them more. All you just need to do is to explain to them what the products are, so it's easier for you to discuss that to your customers. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. It says here that telemarketing versus direct selling. Telemarketing is more organized method of using the telephone for achieving desired business objectives. Telesales is used to denote a full sales cycle for prospecting through the close. Whereas if you're going to be doing direct or on-site selling, this is a face-to-face selling of product to customers. It usually requires the agent to inconveniently bring paraphernalia like sales kits, flyers. Okay, so it's easier for you if you're going to be selling something over the phone because you don't need to. I mean, to have these paraphernalias like posters or any brochures. You don't need to do that. All you just need to do is to make sure that you are explaining everything to these customers. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Guys, can you open your cameras? So I'll be able to know who's actually there or not. All right, because this had happened a lot of times already. All right, now there are some categories that we need to consider if we talk about telemarketing versus direct selling. Telephone marketing is one of the most effective vehicle to sell products. Yes, introduce new products, provide speedy customer service. There you go. Because outright you'll be able to know if the customer is satisfied with the service or not. Okay. You also need to take orders, generate leads, set appointments, make trade shows more profitable, and find out what the customers really think. Okay. For example, I mean, to the one that it was stated in here, the fourth bullet, it says take orders. Okay. If we thought every time that we're going to be dialing what do you call this a delivery number, for example, Jollibee, we have is that 1877? I don't know what's the number again. But I know that there are like delivery numbers, right? If you think that these number, I mean, every time that you're going to be dialing these numbers, it's going to be routed to these stores. No, you're actually not. I mean, that is not what's really happening. So what normally happens is that every time you're going to be calling a delivery number, these calls will be routed directly to a call center, and they're the one who's going to be taking your orders. Okay, and then right after which they're going to be contacting the nearest store on the customer's location, and they're the one that's going to be delivering that. That's how it goes. Okay, so you need to make sure that just in case that you're going to be working in a call center, guys, you'll be able to know what is the right orders to be delivered to your customers. Okay, I have a telephone impression checklist in here. The telephone impression checklist, these are the things that you should know, okay, or that you should be doing every time that you are going to be doing a sales and telemarketing call. Number one, you need to smile, of course. You're not going to sell anything if you're going to be sounding very serious, okay? As was mentioned yesterday, you can even put a little humor on it, so that you'll be sounding more credible every time that you're going to be selling something. Number two, state the name of the company, your name, and the attention getting a statement full of energy and enthusiasm. All right. If you're going to be calling someone like you're a sales agent, you need to make sure that your voice is enthusiastic. All right. Like, hi, thank you for accepting my call. My name is Michael, and I'm looking for Mr. Smith, please. Something like that. Because if you're not going to be doing that, no one's going to be interested listening to you, right? Okay, be professional, and also you need to be very courteous. Be pleasant. And another thing that was stated in here, seek to be understood, but also to understand. Be an attentive listener. All right? Don't drop the momentum. You don't need to detach the moment directly to your customers. You know when's that going to happen? If the customer is asking you something and you're not responding properly. All right? For example, the customer asks you, what's your name again? And then you are too occupied and you just answer the customer, yes, sir. Okay? It's a different thing. That is one way that you can detach yourself to the customer. So you need to make sure that you're doing active listening. All right. Also, it states here that you need to pause, think, and say what you want to say. This also applies to our mock calls, guys. Every time that you're going to be assisting a customer, especially in our mock calls, you need to pause. You need to think as well. Okay? Don't just read your script because a lot of things may happen during the final mock call that is not on your script. So all you just need to do is to listen actively, understand what's happening, and then you need to know what is the proper response that you're going to be giving out to them. Okay? But don't be scared, okay? I'm not going to be asking you anything that you don't know. If that scenario happens that I'm asking you something that you don't know, you know what to do. It's just a transferred call. Never be misled, okay? That's how it works. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. Try not to be intimidated by the other person's tone. This also applies during our mock calls, okay? Don't be scared if the customer is just like shouting. That's the only thing that they can do. All right, but you also need to understand that the customer is also angry. All right, you yourselves are also customers, guys, and you know how it feels like if you're going to be getting bad service, right? You might be doing, you might be doing things that is worse than the things that they're doing, right? You might be saying vulgar words or profanities or anything alike, but just go ahead and try to understand as well, okay? Next one, use gestures as you would in person to get the right tone. I guess I already mentioned this, guys, during our first day, that gestures is also important because it's going to be giving you the right tone every time that you're going to be talking. Okay? So, for example, you're telling the customer to please go ahead and try to download the website, yada yada, or whatever. If you're just gonna say it in a monotone way without using your gestures, you're not gonna get the right tone to it. Okay, so it's important, guys. In a call center, there is even what do you call this? In a call center, guys, there are even agents that we call them the dancers because every time that they're talking, their hands are really waving and all right, but it's not. What do you call this? It's not being taken against that person because every time that you're going to be listening to their calls, they're sounding very genuine. They're sounding as if they're just like talking to someone they know, and it's also important. You can do this, guys. I'm actually giving you tips now on how you'll be sounding more credible during your final mock calls. Okay, next, sound confident that you have the answer to a customer's need or problem. There you go. Never ever try to be sounding as if you're not sure of what you're doing. Okay, you know when is this happening? If you don't understand what's happening, that's the only thing that this matter. This thing is going to be happening. But if you know what you're doing, if you know what's happening, you don't need to be rattled. You don't need to be scared. So just try to compose your confidence. If you think that you are about to lose your confidence, guys, while you're inside a call, try to place the customer on hold and compose yourself within the next 2 minutes. All right? And then once you go back, you need to make sure that you're sounding credible. Next, we have here show awareness of the customer saying. Of course, it falls under comprehension. Work continually on your presentation. Avoid reading a full scripted conversation. There you go. It says here that you don't need to read a full scripted conversation. Never assume that the customer is going to say this. Never assume that the customer is going to be asking you questions such as this. All right? So all you just need to do is to understand, know what's happening, know what are the ins and outs of the customer situation, so you can easily answer all of these questions as well. All right. Next, even you don't have the sale today, the prospect is still a prospect. Leave a good lasting impression. Because if you're going to be giving them a good lasting impression, even though the customer says no during the time that you're selling something, all right, they will still remember you. Just in case that they'll be needing the product, you're the first person that's going to be remembered by these people. Okay? So you don't need to be sounding rude. Don't say anything such as, "Sir, I already talked to you for 30 minutes and I thought that you were already interested with this. Now you're telling me that you don't want it to buy this?" You don't do that. Never harass a customer, okay? Always sound pleasant. "All right, sir, I understand that you're still not ready to take the option that I just have given you just now. And but I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity for presenting this out to you. Just in case that you'll be changing your mind, feel free to call us back, okay? And I can go ahead and give you that to your account right away, something like that, okay? And lastly, and with courtesy, follow up diligently. If there is a thing that you need to be doing follow ups, you need to be doing that yourself because who knows? It's another customer that you're going to be having, right? Especially for sale. Okay, let's move. This time, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do telemarketing techniques, which you can apply during our final mock calls as well. Number one, prepare in advance. Okay? When you say preparing in advance, I want you guys to please organize your scripts. All right? Especially that has something to do with sales and telemarketing because that counts 15 points all throughout the passing score that you got in here. Okay, number two, always get the name of the decision maker. All right, talking to an assistant won't get you anywhere. When you call, ask the receptionist for the name of the person responsible for the department to wish to reach. Do not just ask to be transferred to the head of the department. Get the person's name. Okay, this is very important if you're doing sales and telemarketing. All right. If someone answers the phone, make sure that you need to be looking for the person who's going to be making the decision because it will be very useless if you're going to be talking to the receptionist and then at the end of your presentation they're just going to tell you, "Oh, you know what, I'm not the right person who's going to decide for this." So before you start your presentation, you need to look for the person who's going to be deciding if they're going to be buying the product or not. Okay. Next, prepare a sales script. I already gave you this, guys. Okay, a guided call flow contains relevant talking points. When you say call relevant talking points, okay, bear with me a second. Mm, all right, bear with me here. Oops, oops. Guys, can you still see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
yeah. When you say call relevant talking points, I want you guys to take note of the what I call this. What are the frequently asked questions? Okay, you need to make sure that you have the
Yes,
answers to
sir.
these frequently asked questions, because no matter how hard the call is, if you know how to answer it and you're ready, all right, you'll be able to get through it. Okay, bear with me here. Please stay on the line. Wait up. Okay, let's move to the next slide. All right, this is actually a sample of an opening pitch or introduction if you will be doing sales and telemarketing. Okay, good morning. This is Lisa Smith calling in behalf of Tech Unlimited. Now, the purpose of your opening is twofold: to put your listener in a positive state of mind, and number two, to effectively transition to the next part of the call, the questioning. You don't want to make a presentation, ask for a sales appointment. They are not ready at this point. Okay. So write out your openings. Yes, Krypton. Everything else you say in response to to what they say, but the opener can be prepared word for word. This is what in this way it will work. Again, guys, I already mentioned this to you before that if you're going to be assigned in a call center that has something to do with sales, Everything is scripted. Okay, so it's only a matter of the right confidence every time that you're going to be talking to them. You need to make sure that you're not sounding as if you're reading a full script. All right, never sound like you're working for a prepared opening. Okay, I know that I already have mentioned this before that some people inside the class is like sounding an IVR, right? Thank you for calling CCA. How may I help you today? Something like that. Okay, you're going to be sounding as if you're a robot. That is the reason why most Americans, every time that you do your opening spiel, some Americans are going to be asking you something like, "Are you a robot?" Okay, because you're going to be sounding as if one. Okay, so make sure that you're just sounding genuine, as if you're just talking to someone you know. All right, look at your opening as if you were the person hearing it. If it doesn't excite you, scrap it out and start over. You have your recorders on on your cell phones, right? So every time that, during the weekends, I will suggest that you can record your voice, okay, and just listen to how you talk. Like, hi, my name is Mike. Hi, thank you for calling CCA. My name is Michael. How may I help you today? If you don't like how you sound, well, it's time for you to change that, okay? Oh, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm so sorry to hear that from you. But you don't need to worry, okay? I'll make sure that everything will just be fixed before we end this call, something like that. You need to, you can just record that. You have more time to do that, guys. Okay? Um, check for convenience. Would it be okay if I take a couple of minutes to ask you some questions? That is how you're going to be transitioning yourself to the sales pitches that you're about to be doing. Now, approach. Every time that you're going to be selling something, guys, say something that will catch the interest of your customer. Something like this: would you like to be able to bring your files anywhere you go? What do you think is the item that's that's being sold in here? Who has an idea? If the sales representative tells you something like, "Would you like to be able to bring your files anywhere you go?" What do you think is the item that is being sold? Any idea?
Sir, a laptop.
Laptop, very good. What else aside from a laptop?
Eh,
Sorry?
Flash drive.
There you go. A USB flash drive, very good. What else? Mobile phones, right? There you go. So you can actually go ahead and give them an idea already. What is that item before you start saying your sales pitches? They already have an idea. Ask questions to find out what they might be interested in. All right. Number two, use this step to effectively transition you to presenting the features and benefits that they will be interested in. Number three, talk about ideas and results at the beginning of a call, but not about the product and services. People become curious about ideas and results. They resist to mention the products and services because they feel that they're about to hear sales pitches. You need to make sure, guys, that you're personalizing whatever offer that you're giving out to them. Like, would you want it to take your files anywhere you go? Because I can see that you normally travel. Well, which country do you normally travel? There you go. And the customer started talking, and you are already engaging with them. Oh, that's a very beautiful place. I know. I wish I'll go there someday. But just going back to the issue that to the concern that I just gave you. If you are actually in London or wherever that place is, you can still go ahead and work with your files because of just this small thing that you got in here. All right. So you can actually go ahead and do that. And I want you guys to do that during your sales. What do you call the sales and telemarketing inside of Macall? Okay. I wanted to hear something that is more interesting that the customer will be able to sound. That the customer will be able to be very interested as well. Okay. This is the time that you're going to be presenting. From the time that you already have engaged to them, that's the time that you're about to present whatever product or service that you're going to be giving them. Then you're glad to know that it's now possible to store up to 5 gigabytes of data in a flash disk that's even smaller than a pen. There you go. It's not going to give you any hassle, sir, because if you're going to be having this product, it's smaller than a pen. You can put it inside your pocket. You can actually go ahead and put it as a keychain. You can make it as a necklace or anything alike, okay? So you are secure that you'll still able to have your files, even though that your computer's not working or anything alike. You can still open your files and you can move on with your work there. Okay, get them involved using the tie downs. Tie downs are questions to gain agreement with the customer. To get a better chance of making a sale, make your customer say yes at least 3 times during the presentation. Okay, this is actually a protocol for sales and telemarketers, guys. If you're going to be offering something to a customer, you need to make sure that the customer answers you, yeah, the word yes 3 times inside a call. Okay, if the customer, I mean, for example, what is that first? What is that? I mean, Joe, can you read that first question for us?
Sir,
What is that first
that's
question?
a here, sir. That's a great price, isn't it?
There you go. If you ask that, that's a great price, isn't it? And the customer just said, yeah, all right. It's not valid. It's not a valid sale. You need to let the customer say yes inside a call for 3 times. Okay? It's a great price, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, is that a yes, sir? Like a YES, yes, sir? Something like that. Okay? It's actually a protocol because if what do you call this, if the QA people are going to be listening to these calls and they found out that the customer did not say yes 3 times inside a call, it's an invalid sale. That's what normally happens. Okay, so all of your effort will be useless if you're not going to be doing this. This is actually a protocol. Frequently asked questions. This contains all the anticipated questions and the answers that will serve as a guide for the salesperson. And this also applies to your final mock calls. Okay. Make sure that you're going to be, writing down what are the frequently asked questions. All right. Such as, when was the last time you delete your browsing history? What is a browsing history? I don't know what that is. Okay. I'm not a techie person and I don't know what clearing browsing history is. Okay, you need to make sure that you have the answers to that. Something like, do you have a pen and a paper handy? I'm about to give you the confirmation number. What is a confirmation number? There you go. I might start doing that as well during our mock calls. Okay, so you need to make sure that you know what are these details. All right, next, objection response. This contains common objections from the customer and guided responses. These are things that on how you're going to be handling objections from your customers. Number one, the boomerang method. Can you read the description for us, Janice? The girl at the top of the mountain.
The boomerang method. Turn the objection of your customer into a reason for buying one. But be careful to avoid making the prospect look foolish or ignorant for having raised such objection.
Okay, there you go. Thank you so much for that one, Janice. I can hear a lot of fairies at your background. They're like reading it all at the same time together with you. All right. Yeah. Anyway, it says here, turn the objection of your customer for a reason to buy. Okay. I already have given you examples how to do that, but you need to be careful. Okay. Do you know what is a boomerang, guys? Look at that picture, right? I know you already have seen such before. If you're gonna throw that in the air, it's gonna lead you somewhere else, like a long distance, and then it's gonna go back to you after which. Make sure that if it goes back to you, you need to catch that. Otherwise, you will be hurt. You will be injured. Okay. These are just the same as this. So every time that you're going to be handling objections to your customer, turn that objection into a reason for buying. But make sure if the customer backfires you, you'll be able to catch still that attention and never hold back. Okay, so that you're still going to be giving them that interest. The interest will still be contained. All right, the yes but method. Who can read it for us, Diana? I like your shirt, yellow.
The yes but method. This is useful when the comments of your customer cannot be directly refuted. Agree with your customer's comments and then immediately follow with a disclaimer.
Very good. Okay, if the customer says yes but, okay, the customer is like slightly interested with a product. Now, just like the first example that we have here, the boomerang method, whatever negative statement that the customer is going to tell you, turn that into a reason for buying. Okay? I'm going to be offering you this hair treatment, ma'am. Yes. But I'd love to have that, but I'm currently pregnant. Okay. As I can see here, ma'am, that you're really interested because you just had said yes. You just have said yes, okay? But you tell me that you're currently pregnant. Don't worry, okay? This hair treatment plan that I'm actually offering you is not going to be expiring, all right? And there you go. You can just start doing your sales pitches after which. The counterbalance. Can you read up for us, Marjorie?
The counterbalance method. When a valid objection is raised, you should counter it by developing a positive benefit that the objected feature has.
Very good. Okay. You need to make sure that you're focusing with the benefits. Don't focus too much with the features because the features can also be given by some other companies. Okay. So make sure that you're going to be giving them the idea that I'm actually discussing you with this because we know that you need this. All right. I already have mentioned that before though. All right. Failure to hear method. This is the thing that I'm telling you guys that which I normally do when I was still doing sales. All right. Can you read it for us, Bem?
Failure to hear method. If you receive an observed objection of low priority, objection that won't hinder the sale, sometimes it is better just to pretend not to hear the objection than to create the possibility of a direct communication.
Thank you. Okay, there we go. If you heard something absurd objection, like if the customer says, "Oh my God," something like that. Okay, all you just need to do is to, at least pretend as if you didn't hear that objection. As long as the objection is just very minor and it's not being thrown at you, selling something to a person which is really not what do you call this interested. All right, guys, I can notice that a lot of people logged in earlier, but they're like moving away. Logging out one by one. I hope I don't have two people at the end of my session. Okay. All right. I only have like 16 now, but anyway. All right. Yeah. Just go ahead and bypass whatever objection that you have heard from your customers. Okay. Unless the customer is not calling your attention, just let it go and move on with your sales pitches. Just don't lose your confidence every time that you're going to be doing that. Okay, don't be affected. Next, apply the feel fan felt sound. Can you read it for us, Rodame? You are on mute, Rodame.
Sorry, sir. Apply this technique to make the customer feel that you appreciate the customer situation. Using the word I have often felt that way myself. What I have found is that
And that's the time that you're going to be putting in your sales pitches. Okay, whatever sales script that you have, that you prepared, you can already interject that there. Okay, next slide. All right. Always try to close the sale. Gaining commitment is something that must happen from the start to finish your call. Closing is one of the skills that you have developed as a salesperson. When you reach the selling process, it means that you are able to encourage your customer to buy your product. Okay? Because if the customer is really not interested on the first part of your conversation, they're just going to hang up on you, right? They're not going to let you discuss whatever product or service that you're offering them. Okay, so if you are already on the closing part, it only means that the customer is a bit interested to get your product. It's only a matter of what do you call this, a little push in order for you to get a customer's yes. All right. In order to close the sale, you must be able to determine the customer's buying signal. Buying signals are indicators that your customer is receptive to your ideas and may be ready to commit further. Once buying signals are observed, you should attempt to try closing the sale. There you go. On the next slide, I'm going to be showing you guys what are these buying signals. Buying signals are the reactions that you're going to be getting from your customers to know if they are interested or not. Number one, read that first bullet for me, please. Genevieve.
Making a positive statement about the product.
There you go. Customer is already making a positive statement about the product, right? Um, Oh yes, I heard about that the last time, and I have seen on the commercial that the hair. I mean, the customer. I mean, that model's name is very beautiful. There you go. It's already a buying signal. Number two, Emmeline, read up for us, please.
Asking about the use, price, installation, or delivery of the product.
All right. Yes. If I'm going to be agreeing with your offer, when am I going to be having that installation? All right. These are some buying signals that the customer is already ready to say yes, totally, for that offer. Okay. Next bullet, please, Sharina.
Asking for the names of others who use the product.
Who is that person that you told me earlier who's also using this product? Okay. And if you're able to answer them and they know the person personally, like, oh, it's one of your friends, ma'am. The name is this. Really? There you go. So easy for you to get that sale. Next, Mary Chris. Can you read up for us, please?
Changing the voice tone to more positive one.
Very good. Changing the voice to a more positive statement, okay, or positive one. Wait a minute, guys. All right. So the tone of voice is no longer what do you call this? The first time that I mean, talking to them, like they're like a little bit late. Yeah, what is this call all about? Okay, and you try to I mean, to introduce to them the product, and the voice is like, okay, all right. So what am I gonna get from it? Something like that. The tone of voice changes, which means that they're already interested to buy that. Okay, Joe, read us the last one, please.
Willing to test or try the product.
Very good. Okay, guys. One strategy of what do you call this? One strategy of a company is that they're going to be giving out a 30-day trial for a customer. I know you already have seen what do you call this? I know you already have seen commercials such as try our product or your money back, something like that, right? Have you heard about that before? There you go. So these are some tactics, okay, or some what do you call this? Strategies of big companies in order for them to have a lot of customers. Okay. Um, I'll give you an example, guys. I worked with T-Mobile UK during the time that I'm still working in a call center, and then during that time, it's only I mean sending text messages and mobile phone calling. That's the only features that they have. From the time that they already have introduced the internet over the phone, okay, our company or T-Mobile UK, the company itself, is giving out a 30-day free trial. Guys, I'm sorry about the vehicles outside. Okay, my house is just the side of the road. I hope you guys can still understand me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay, there you go. As just like what I'm saying, guys, that company that I worked in before, that's T-Mobile UK, they actually gave a 30-day free trial for a customer who is going to willing to try the product or service that they have. Okay, and on the 30-day trial, the service that they are going to be giving is very, I mean, is what I call this is very excellent. It's not gonna have any what I call this buffering or anything alike. The first 30-day trial is very, I mean, will be very good up until the customer forgets about the 30 days, and they will already be, I mean, they will already be tied into a 24-month contract. That's it. Okay, just like here in the Philippines, right? We already have that, like a 30-day trial if you're going to be having an internet connection. All right, if you sir, if you're willing to try our product, I'll give you a 30-day trial. Okay, now on the 30 days that you're going to be using their internet, the internet will be very good. It's very excellent. The connection is very fast. Uploading and downloading is very fast. Okay, and then you are already forgetting about the date because you are enjoying the service. Little that you know that right after 30 days, if you encounter problems, you're gonna call them. Hey, I wanted to cancel my account now. Sir, you are already out of the 30-day free trial. You are already tied into a 24-month contract. So you don't have to, I mean, you don't have any choice anymore by then, but to continue the contract, right? So these are some tactics of big companies as well. All right, just to give you an idea, guys, if ever that you are already tied into a 24-month contract, All right, and then you wish to cancel the account because I wanted to cancel my account because in my second or third month, the connection is really not that stable. So what's going to happen is they are going to be computing the remaining months for the monthly payment that you're going to be having. For example, you're paying like 1,000 pesos per month for the service or 1,300 per month. Okay, they're going to be computing that to the remaining months. For example, you only use the service for 3 months, so you still have 20, 20. Oh God, mathematics. Wait up. 24-month
21,
contract
sir.
minus 3. There you go. So you still have 21 more
21.
months. Okay. So if you are paying 1,500 each month or 1,300, let's say, in order for you to cancel the contract, you need to pay 27,300 pesos. That's how it works. Okay. This is why you call the early termination fee. So instead of you paying the service for the 24-month contract, why not just use the service instead, right? That is how they keep a customer. And if you're already about to end the contract, like you are already on the 22nd month of the contract, they're going to call you and offer you more. Oh, ma'am, as I can see that you're about to reach your 24-month contract, and since that you're a very loyal customer of ours, let me go ahead and give you a free tablet, okay, so that you'll be able to renew the contract again for the next 24 months. Good tactic, right? These big companies are really smart. Okay, now let's go ahead and try to know what are the types of clauses. These are the clauses that I want you guys to be mentioning during your what do you call this? Just in case the customer agrees, okay? Just in case the customer agrees. All right, assumptive. Would you like to pay or by cash or by check? You're giving assumption to the customer that they are willing to make a payment by cash or by check. Choice. Right now we have trips to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando for the afternoon by September 5. Which one would you prefer? There you go. You're already laying your cards and they just need to choose. Direct close, which is very critical because this is the yes or no answer. Can you read that for us? Karina, direct close. Yeah, obviously we can't hear you because you're on mute. Lara, can you read it for us, please?
Will you be interested to give our handling proposal a try?
There you go. Now, if you're gonna read it that way, Lara, the customer's gonna say, "Oh no," because you're sleepy. Are you sleepy, Lara? Can you show me yourself? Don't hide that pretty
Yes, sir.
face. You're the most beautiful student I've ever had in this batch. Do you agree with me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
She's
yes.
so pretty.
Can you see how
No,
effective I
sir.
am when it comes? Can you see how effective I am when it comes to sales? That got you
Yes, sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
I even
Yes,
see that
sir.
smiles on your faces. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just taking chances just in case you're going to be having a post celebration for your birthday, and
Sana
that's
all.
on Sunday, I guess. Right, Sharina?
I
Okay.
don't think so, sir.
There you go. That's what you call direct close. I tried to close that, but you say no. Okay. That's an example of a direct close. Okay. Next, let's go to the summary close. All right. And yeah, Joanne, Militante, can you read it for us, please? Direct summary close.
As what I told you, Mr. Anderson, this type of all-inclusive package is rare in the market.
There you go. Okay, and this is what you call the tap into fear. Remember the tap into fear that I actually told you guys? You need to give them a little fear that if you're going to be losing this chance to have this product or service, this is not going to be offered to you the next time. Okay? Next, fear of loss. There you go. Mr. Jones, this discounted rate for your car is a one-time limited offer. And the customer is going to start, oh my God, really? Aren't you going to offer that next month? Oh, I'm really sorry because if you're going to turn this offer down just now, if you're going to say no to my offer, okay, I'm going to call your friend who's also willing to try the service, but this offer is only this is the last, this is the last what do you call this offer that we can give out to our loyal customers, which I normally give that, which I normally do that, guys, when I was doing sales still. This is very effective. All right, and number five, and the call and follow up. Always end politely when it comes to apparent that the person you're speaking is not interested in your pitch. Remain professional and calm, even if you're faced with rudeness. For prospects who appear interested in or the product information sheets, ask when a good time to call them back would be, and then call them at that time. Offer the setup meeting if they wanted to have that. Courtesy and respect can go a long way towards getting a sale, especially in telemarketing. There you go. You don't need to be rude, even though the customer is rude to you. Don't don't throw stones to them. Okay, wait a minute. Bear with me a second, okay? Okay, there you go. So all right, this is the last part of sales and telemarketing, guys. Okay, the last part that we have in here, we need to know what are the relevant laws on telemarketing. Okay. When you say relevant laws in telemarketing, there are actually some restrictions because a customer can file a case to the telemarketer if they're not going to be doing this. What do you call this? These restrictions when it comes to the law when considering telemarketing. Telephone Consumer Act of 1991. The TCPA is the primary law in the U.S. governing the product of telephone solicitations. Example: telemarketing. The TCPA restricts the use of automatic dialing systems, artificial or pre-recorded voice messages, SMS text messages received by cell phones, and the use of fax machines to send unsolicited advertisements. It is also specifies several technical requirements for fax machines, auto dialers, and voice messaging systems. Principally, with provisions requiring identification and contact information of the entity using the device to be contained in the message. There you go. All right, guys. It is not allowed in the U.S. in some parts of the U.S. to do pre-recorded voice messages. All right. Remember earlier that I told you that there are some sales and telemarketing companies in which they are doing the sales, pre-recorded sales pitches, just like move sourcing. Okay. Now these companies who's actually doing sales and telemarketing, there are some. What do you call? There are some states that they are not allowed to call because the relevant law for sales and telemarketing applies to some other states. Okay, they are only restricted to call some other states. All right. So, but I know that there are only several states in the U.S. who's actually just like doing this. All right. That is the reason why up until now, they're still a fast-growing company because, they still have more customers in line. The Asterisk Law. The state law in Oregon and Florida allows consumers to designate that they do not want to receive telemarketing calls by having an asterisk appear next to their name in the telephone directory. There is a fine of $5 for residents or $10 for business imposed on companies that will call people whose names are marked with an asterisk. Okay? Here's the thing, guys. In the U.S., have you seen what do you call this? Have you seen the yellow pages? Do you know what is a yellow page?
Y- I think so.
I think so, yeah.
No,
Yes.
sir.
You don't know what is a yellow page? Okay, I'll show you what is a yellow page. You know, this is the it's like a huge book that it's being given to customers if you're going to be having a telephone line. Yellow pages. Here, I'll show you an example. Let me share my screen here. Bear with me. Okay, wait up. All right, can you see my screen now, guys?
No, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see yourselves?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, this is a yellow page, guys. There you go. Again, this is being provided by telephone companies every time that you're going to be having a landline phone. Okay, so this is the easiest way for you to look for names that you wanted to call. All right. Now, since that we're talking about the asterisk law in the U.S. Okay, let me go back to that page. Bear with me here. Window. There you go. I hope everyone can still see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Okay, there you go. So, as an asterisk law, guys, telemarketers are not allowed to call these people that has asterisks on their name. All right, because they already have requested to put their names onto the do not call list. All right, this is very, I mean, this is very common, guys, especially for Americans. If you're going to be selling something to them, and then they're gonna tell you, you know what, I don't want you to receive telemarketing calls. Just put my name onto the asterisk, I mean, to do not call list. Okay. Now, if you are the I mean, if you are the sales agent and you did not put the customer's name on the, I mean, onto the do not call list, there you go. The company will be you will be giving a fine if you will call someone who actually have requested to put their name under do not call list and there is an asterisk beside the name that they have. All right, you're gonna pay $5 for residential and $10 for commercial. Are you getting that idea, guys? I hope I'm explaining that. I mean, clearly. All right. Okay, let me just go ahead and check that here. Bear with me a second. Okay. Now, do not call list. If your company makes outbound sales calls to consumers, it is required by the federal regulation to keep a list of consumers who have requested not to receive telephone calls from your company. If your company calls someone who has requested not to be contacted, they can be fined. All right. And this is the payment $5 for residents and $10 for business. Now, exceptions to these regulations are nonprofit organizations, market researchers, and companies who have prior business relationships with person that they are calling. All right. Now, if you are a collections agent, you are collecting payments to these people who actually have loans. All right. And their name still has an asterisk on it, you are allowed to call them. All right, because there's like a business transaction that needs to be done, right? The only time that you are not going to be calling the person who has an asterisk on it, which they already have requested to put their name under the do not call list, if you are a sales and telemarketer and you're going to be selling something. That's it. All right, are we all good, guys? I hope I have explained that clearly to everyone. Oh, we're done with the telemarketing. All right, so guys, let's have a 10-minute break. Is that okay? Once after 10 minutes, I'm going to be discussing few things about the final assessment. Okay, about the final assessment, and also I'm going to be sending you the. Wait up. Just check something here. Sorry, I burped. My God. All right, let's just go ahead and take a break, guys. Okay, I'll be back by after 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.